A very good evening and welcome to the 8 p.m. news broadcast brought to you by Eswatini TV. My name is Nondobeko Nzabgelwago and I am together with Zama Nzimante. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines. His Majesty King Eswatini III has honored Umsizi members with gifts for their bravery during the World War. Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Defense, His Royal Highness Princess Kalo, says the Defense Force can benefit in terms of communications and learning about cybersecurity from the Royal Science and Technology Park. The Minister of Natural Resources and Energy says Eswatini is closer to meeting the nation's vision of having access to clean water by the year 2022. And now the news in detail. His Majesty King Eswatini III has honored Umsizi members with gifts for their bravery during the World War and for representing Eswatini. The gifts were presented by the Deputy Prime Minister, Themba Masuku.
Annually on the 11th of November, Eswatini usually commemorate the Umsizi Day, where members of the ex-servicemen who fought during the World War are commemorated. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there could be no celebrations this year. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku visited the Umsizi regiments to check up on them and their lives. The remaining ones are now 3 after the passing away of the 4th one earlier this year. The Deputy Prime Minister started at Eswatini area at Dube Homestead to visit 97-year-old Jobe Dlamini, where he presented gifts from their Majesties. Masuku says their Majesties are forever grateful of the bravery shown by the ex-servicemen during the World War.
Asihambe siye kule msizi siyokwethula leto tibusiso lethi ngwenyama asitethule la ngoba na ngithuma ichaza kabantu ukuthi live silikhanze nje ngoba kwakukhona nini nahamba nalwela live.
Some of the gifts included food parcels, first aid kits, walking sticks, blankets, suits, amongst many things. He then proceeded to Dikuba area in the Lubombo region to visit 100-year-old Lomhlangano Matsenjwa, where he presented similar gifts from their Majesties.
Lokunyeke lethe angisho ukuthi iyanibonga iyanikhumbula inathi ngamunye.
Matsenjwa, who still remembers what unfolded during the World War despite his age, including a 6-month journey to Italy, says Eswatini conquered and he was amongst those who physically brought down Hitler. He says there were ululations of victory, mostly from members of the Mbutho Eswatini Defense Force, who were amongst the victors. Matsanjeni North Member of Parliament Philip Telezi thanked the Deputy Prime Minister for travelling all the way to Dikuba to commemorate these warriors. The Deputy Prime Minister is expected to visit the remaining ex-servicemen at the Shiselweni region. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi at Dikuba area in the Lubombo region.
Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Defense, Princess Kalo, says the Defense Force can benefit in terms of communications and learning about cybersecurity from the Royal Science and Technology Park. The PS said this during a tour of the RSTP and Biotechnology Park with the Minister of Justice, Polile Shakantu, and Chief Justice, Begi Mapalala.
The Ministry of Defence, Prince Sikalo, says their tour of the Royal Science and Technology Park as well as the Biotechnology Park has opened their eyes to communications opportunities available for the Defence Force at the National Contact Centre, which is housed at RSTP. The PS says the force can have officers at the call centre responding to questions from the public about the force and also assisting people who need help from the army.
Bese kuze kule database center khona ke singabe sibeka information yembi lekufuna ukuthi ibe secured ibe backed up singakhona ukuyisebenzisa kanjalo so vele mathuba ukuthi singasebenzisa lesakhiwo akhona maningi and akusiko kona lokhu kuphela lengubalako. We are still going to sit down nelibandla lapha ekhaya sibuka ukuthi singachubekela njani embili ngokuthi sesitile sitovakasha lapha sabona nalaba sembili kunasi bebavele basisatisile ukuthi ikhona lesakhiwo lesi so nasi sesele lithuba ukuthi sesitosibona sesi appreciate ukuthi sime njani.
Minister of Justice Polile Shakantu says stakeholders in the judicial sector will benefit from using the RSTP as they look into introducing technology case management.
Build capacity maphoyisa bese kunabo anti-corruption commission bo human rights commission funeke sibaniketeke leyo capacity nawo bathole le training yokuthi bayiphenya njani indzaba lekhuluma ngabo data and cyber security bakhone lokuyiphenya ithi ngaphenywa seyiyangena ke tinkantolo kumele ke netinkantolo nato titfole le education ukuthi li judge liya understand yini ukuthi kukhulunywa ngani khona tawukhona ku school juba lelo cala lokhu sibonile nje le training facility lekhona itaw utilizewa nayo ku trainer bonke labakhona within the justice sector to make sure that as we go digital silive sonke sesitholile leyo training.
Chief Justice Peggy Maphalala says they are looking to have a commercial court at the Biotechnology Park at Botsweni. The CJ says such courts are crucial to the country's development.
The commercial court ngiyola sebabuka ngayo ukuthi nayikhona eveni labo bangatletha timali tabo eveni ukuthi nase kunalawo macala lakhona atawukhona ukuthi ahambe masinyane ngoba nawuthatha lamacala lawa uwafaka ngale kula macala lamanenga angeke hambe le speed lesifunwa yi-World Bank sengo umhlaba losoqala ngako ukuthi ungatletha ntimali eveni ukuthi kube ne commercial court nakuchamuke ma commercial disputes tinkampani letinkulu tinema disputes ikhona leyo ndzaba leyo kusebenzeka masinyane iphele so ke sihlangene nabase World Bank isikhathi esiningi basipressurize ukuthi iyadzingakala i-commercial court.
Having a commercial court will not only help local businesses but also the country's standing in terms of ease of doing business. Minister Shakantu says this is one indicator that can help the country have a better rating in terms of ease of doing business as well as attract foreign investors. For Eswatini TV News, Temgosi Mavimbela, Botsweni.
The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Makhosi Vilakati, says the Executive Director of the Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration Commission should work to promote both the protection of employers and employees. The Minister was speaking when introducing the newly appointed Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration Commission Executive Director.
Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration Commission has been without a permanent executive director for almost 6 years. The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Makhosi Vilakati, has introduced the new executive director, Makhosazane Khoza. The minister says that they are confident that the executive director will ensure that operations continue well, as she has been working with the organization and is familiar with the working environment.
After the board had conducted interviews or recruitment for a new director after the departure on April of Mr. Kumetse, who was all along the CIMAP director. Now we've got a new director at CIMAP Ms. Makosazane Koza. Ms. Makosazane Koza is not new at CIMAC. She started her career in the Ministry of Labour as a labour officer, and she was there. As the government office, as His Majesty's government, we pride ourselves to have the first female director at CIMAC since the inception of CIMAC. So it's a milestone in our field, in the labour space, that now we've got the first female director. And with that, we congratulate her in her new job and wish her a healthy working relationship with the board and the staff at CIMAC.
The minister wished the executive director well in her line of duty and also applauded those who were once appointed to lead the office in previous years. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Demalange Dlamini with Muslim Konda in Babane.
The Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Peter Bembe, says Eswatini is closer to meeting the nation's vision of having access to clean water by the year 2022. The minister said this when officially opening the rehabilitated water schemes by Coca-Cola Foundation in collaboration with WaterAid that costs above 18 million emalangeni.
Coca-Cola Foundation, in collaboration with WaterAid, has rehabilitated water schemes that will benefit two constituencies, named Eswatini constituency and Mkiweni constituency. These water schemes uses solar energy to pump water from the ground to the tanks. The Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Peter Bembe, says these water schemes are proof of that Eswatini's Vision 2022 for people to have access to clean water and potable water will be realized.
He told us the scheme existed before, but it failed because of the electricity bills. People couldn't pay, and therefore the scheme was cut off. So now they are so excited in that this is driven by the sun. It's a solar system. And we as a ministry as well, we are very, very happy in that.
Mihal Karathi, the Coca-Cola Foundation's general manager, says he believes that the people will take proper care of the schemes.
They donated $1.2 million, but that was co-funded then by WaterAid. Also put some funding in there, I think to the tune of about 700,000. So it will benefit approximately 37,000 folks across these.
Matokoza Ngwane, who spoke on behalf of Malinza Chief, expressed their gratitude. Ngwane said, clean water is something they only heard of since they shared their water with animals. Accessing clean water is in line with the nation's vision that every Swati should have access to clean water by the year 2022. The vision also adheres to the United Nations Sustainable Goals, Goal number 6, that focuses on having access to clean water and sanitation for everyone by the year 2030. Reporting for Eswatini TV News is Tembelihle Makuchwa with Temba Shabangu at Mbadlane.
The Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, says eMaswati should be committed to activities that aim to restore and protect the environment. The minister was speaking when congratulating and awarding recipients who are receiving assistance from the Environment Fund to pursue projects which aim to improve the state of the environment in the country.
In October this year, the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs announced that 2 million emalangeni will be made available to fund deserving and qualifying projects that aim to improve the state of the environment in the country. The Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, has awarded 7 projects, including the University of Eswatini, with funds they will receive from the assistance of the Environment Fund.
We congratulate all the grant recipients who are receiving this assistance from the Environment Fund. Let me further request that we all ensure that we work hard, work around the clock to ensure that all these projects are implemented and completed timelessly. Program Director, let me take this brief opportunity to once again thank all the 120 communities who heeded to our call for proposal, for taking time to send in the applications for consideration by the Board of Trustees for the fund.
The chairperson of the Eswatini Board of Trustees and Board of Members, Menzi Dlamini, says this project will assist a lot of people in the country and they will ensure that the funds are always used well.
Sithemba ukuthi lo umthelela lo sikhuluma ngama-direct beneficiaries. Kepha-ke sithemba ukuthi level yawo sitakala kakhulu kulawo ma-projects njengoba nje kwadika ukuthi lamanye yawo ngemadede. Sinenkolelo ukuthi lamanda bese anzisa emandla tawudliwa ngendawo sinetihosha phinze anzise ne-agriculture ne-stimulator ke-economic growth even.
By the year 2030, the Kingdom of Eswatini is expected to have eradicated all problems affecting the environment. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Temalange Ndlamini with Muzim Konda, Manzini.
The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Makhosi Vilagati, says although the government of Eswatini does all it can to assist Emaswati who are in need of scholarships for their tertiary education, it is not possible for all students who have been accepted in different institutions to be catered for. The minister was speaking during a press conference held at the ministry's offices in Mbabane.
Following demonstrations by students who were not successful in their request of getting assistance for funding for their tertiary education in the past days, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security says government will not be able to cater for everyone who has been admitted, but only a certain amount of students as they work on a budget. The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Makhosi Vilagati, says to assist more students, they have added the number of students who received scholarships in different institutions in the country, which was not done in previous years.
Bantwana ke kule khalota bathi bona wonke umfana lo admit university umfunzi hulumende akambhadalele. Sikela ukuveta ke lokuthi njalo kusilela tafule nje nani nebetindzaba labanye bayile university tolo akuzange sekwendeke ukuthi hulumende angathatha wonke umfana lo admit university ambhadalele noma phela khikila hulumende nalo kuyabudgetwa. Le budget lesinayo isivumela ukuthi e-university bese ngabathatha abantwana bayinkulungwane but siltiko sibe sesiyahlala phansi na ngekululekwa nguye uhulumende lo holwa ngumhlonishwa nduna ngulothi asesibuko sibantwana singabendelani i-university sigcina sesibangeta abantwana kulo 1000 abangu 350 ngetulu. That means ikhotha yase-university nje sigcina sesifundisa abantu abangu 1350 lesibanike scholarship.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security appeals to students to not be part of illegal unions or activities that may destroy their future but focus on their studies. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Temalange Ndlamini with Muzim Konda in Mbabane.
Liquor will now be sold on Saturdays in the Kingdom. This follows the adoption of the Disaster Management Coronavirus COVID-19 Regulations of 2020 by members of Parliament. The regulations were adopted today in Parliament.
The report of the Deputy Prime Minister's Office Portfolio Committee on the Disaster Management Coronavirus COVID-19 Regulations 2020 was tabled in the House by Chairperson Derek Masuku. The report states that liquor will be sold from Monday to Saturday. Previously, liquor was sold from Monday to Friday. The new regulation states that liquor will be sold on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Members of Parliament then debated the report.
Or taking part in the community meeting shall ensure that there is not more than a social distance of at least 1 meter is observed. I understand, Mr. Speaker. Kwekuthi basebenzisa ma-permanent regulation noma ba law health nakathi thina observe 2 meter social distancing bona bathi basho lokunye understand, Mr. Speaker. Ngicela nje ngichazele lapha chairperson nawe saphendula.
Sasuggesta ukuthi kusukela ngemsombuluko kuya kulesihlanu kutawuvula lo 8 working hours angibekise nakuvulwa noma nga 10 kuvalwa ngalo 6 kwentelwani lapho, not maybe mhlawumbe from the context yalolo natsako kuphela, but even from the context yalolo wakhe ibhizinisi kwekuthi nasokuthi nje nga5 in the thick of summer libalele lithe sekuvaliwe seyivaliwe ibhizinisi, kanti phela it's a little bit of a cynical contradiction ngoba sithe phela awusahlali uyatitimisa uhambe nakwekhaya.
Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku asked the House to adopt the report as it was urgent.
Akwentiwe lama-amendments ngoba ngeke ukhone ukulimanage lelive after 12 o'clock ebusuku, so kufanele ukuthi sitshintshe lesimo ngalama-regulations. Mr. Speaker, sentele ukuthi sitomanage lesimo, otherwise the nombolo tekugula la ngaphandle sehle tenyuka lokhu kujake kuyovala lesimo lengaphandle.
The House then adopted the report and regulations which are expected to come into effect tomorrow, being Thursday. The regulations also speak to art and entertainment events which should have a maximum of 100 people unless the venue is accredited by the relevant minister. The regulations further criminalize not sanitizing customers in public transport vehicles. For Eswatini TV News, Temgos Mavimbela, Parliament.
The Taiwan Embassy on Wednesday visited the Metula constituency where they donated over 100 food hampers. The representative of the ambassador of Taiwan, Oliver Hahn, says it is their mission as an embassy to bring joy and relief to Eswatini, especially the needy.
The Taiwan Embassy on Wednesday donated 40 25 liters of hand sanitizers, 40 bags of 40 kg rice, 40 milli-meal bags of 40 kg, 40 food hampers comprising of cooking oil and beans to Metula constituency. The representative of the ambassador of Taiwan, Oliver Hahn, says when he spoke to the member of parliament of Metula constituency, he learned that most members of the community are needy. That's why they are extending a helping hand.
We try to keep a price every year. I believe so, but basically we hand over all food to MP. They decide to anyone in need.
Member of Parliament of the Metula constituency, Derek Masugu, thanked the Taiwan Embassy for the donation.
Nami nje ngithanda ukuthatha leli thuba ngibonge kakhulu kule embassy ukuthi imane sethekelise, sibonga kakhulu asathi singathini noma kungeke kwenele ngoba phela lenkundla inemphakathi leng-8.
Oliver Hahn says they have received information that there's a number of people in need of wheelchairs under the Metula constituency. Therefore, they have pledged to come back again before the end of the year and donate wheelchairs. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, Sifiso Ngumalo, it's Muva Shongwe, Metula constituency.
The chairperson of the Eswatini Bankers Association, Zakhele Lukele, says there's been an increase in fraud cases from 251 last year to 254 this year. Lukele said this during the official launch of the Fraud Awareness Week at the Happy Valley Hotel in Zulwini.
As the international community raises public awareness on fraud this week, the chairman of the Eswatini Bankers Association, Zakhele Lukele, urges Eswatini to remain vigilant for fraud, making sure to verify suspicious transactions or communications. Speaking during the launch of the Awareness Week at Happy Valley Hotel, the chairperson unpacks the fraud cases reported to the association.
During the period from October 2019 to September 2020, we have noticed that there were 254 fraud cases which were reported, which is an increase from 251 cases in the previous year from October 2018 to September 2019. The fraud cases include ATM fraud, internet fraud, card cloning, and forex trading. Of note, though, is that ATM fraud and internet fraud have gone down during the period. ATM fraud has gone down by 46% from 74 cases in October 2018 to September 2019 to 40 cases in the period from October 2019 to September 2020. Internet fraud, on the other hand, has gone down by 19% from 37 to 30 cases during the period.
The Commissioner of Police, William Dlamini, says last year eMaswati lost 135 million emalangeni to fraud. He encourages eMaswati not to engage in dodgy dealings, protect their card PIN numbers, never act on emails or letters about change of banking details coming from unfamiliar contacts because this could be scams. Zandile Mabunza, who was representing Central Bank Governor Majosi Stole at the event, says eMaswati need to be more vigilant for scammers, especially during the festive season.
Central Bank, working in collaboration with other stakeholders in the fraud prevention area, does encourage or warn or caution members of the public against undertaking activities that can expose them to financial losses, especially in issues around fraud.
Other speakers during the event were from Eswatini Communications Commission and the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla with Fabrice Musonera at Ezulwini.
Let's take a look at the COVID-19 update from the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health has reported 20 new confirmed COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. In a statement issued by the Minister for Health, a total of 404 results were received today, out of which 20 people tested positive, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to date to 6,144. The statement further shows that there are 179 active cases, 5,826 have recovered, 119 have died, and 20 have been registered for care. Looking at the cumulative confirmed COVID-19 cases by region, Mandini region has 2,738 cases, Hoho region has 2,343 cases, Lubombo region has 548 cases, Shiselweni region has 515 cases of COVID-19. And in today's sports news, Eswatini Sports and Recreational Council Communications Officer Dumsani Ndiwane says before the end of this year, the council will visit at least 5 constituencies where they will continue their Shuguma program that encourages eMaswati to exercise regularly for the benefits of their health. Ndiwane revealed this in an interview with Eswatini TV Sports in Mbabane.
Ministry of Health, in conjunction with Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council, continue with its program, which is aimed at encouraging eMaswati in different constituencies of the country to exercise regularly and keep health. According to the Sport Council Communications Officer Dumsani Ndiwane, before the end of this year, the council will reach out to at least 5 constituencies.
Last Saturday, we were at the Ngutseni Inkundla, where we successfully rolled out the program, Shuguma Eswatini, with enthusiastic participants of not more than 100 people as per the COVID-19 guidelines. So next weekend, Saturday, we are headed to the Mahlangacha Inkundla for the same program. I must say, so far, so good. The truth is that we've been itching to go back to the field. We've actually been itching to return to deliver this program. So looking at the number of weeks left before the year ends, we say maybe 4 or 5 more Dinkundla we are going to roll out the program in maybe 4 or 5 Tinkundla centers before the end of the year.
Ndiwane also uploaded, on another note, different sports associations who are operating under the current pandemic of COVID-19 for their compliance. He concluded encouraging those who are exercising in different ways to keep on following different regulations being provided for the pandemic. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Mbabane.
Well, that brings us to the end of our news bulletin. But before we wrap up, let's take a quick recap of the headlines. His Majesty King Eswatini III has honored Umsizi members with gifts for their bravery during the World War. Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Defense, His Royal Highness Princess Kalo, says the Defense Force can benefit in terms of communications and learning about cybersecurity from the Royal Science and Technology Park. The Minister of Natural Resources and Energy says Eswatini is closer to meeting the nation's vision of having access to clean water by the year 2022. Eswatini, that is all the news we had for you tonight. Up next is the weather forecast. Good night and God bless.
You know what makes Christmas so special? It's that little extra. And at Spar, we have thousands of extras. We're granting thousands of Christmas wishes and giving thousands of our customers free shopping, plus thousands in Christmas savings, like Spar Extra Shelf Life Milk for only $26.99 and Kellogg's Cornflakes for just $39.99. Spar, the home of 1,000 little extras this Christmas.